The Jormungandr Armor Set, it's been found by Pedder in the game files as well. The man is on fire, including a new mount, a dragon raven skin, and we also get our first look at some one-handed sword gameplay. Same thing applies here, folks, just as with the werewolf armor set. This has been found in the game files and it is subject to change, but it is looking pretty good right now, so I reckon we'll be seeing this released in the Helix store and at Redder after the Siege of Paris DLC drops on the 12th of August. So first up, let's take a look at the mount, and with all of the mounts being released recently, I thought we'd actually be riding a giant serpent or snake into battle due to its namesake of the armor set, but I'm pleased to say we've got ourselves a good looking horse mount. It's nothing too crazy here and definitely worth a pickup in Redder if you're in the mood for a fairly authentic looking horse mount, but comparatively I can't say the same for the raven skin, as we've got ourselves a dragon for this one, and if I'm being honest, the colours don't actually look too bad at all. For me though, I don't actually tend to use my raven too much in the game, but if you're after some cool pics with it just landing on your shoulder, it may also be another semi-decent purchase at Redder. Now moving on to some weapons, and this is our first real look at one-handed swords in terms of gameplay and how it kind of moves. And I've got to say, I know it has been long overdue, but I really am excited about giving these new weapon classes a whirl. So Pedder actually found the Coil Sword in the game files a few weeks ago, and we kind of speculated on the weapon itself being a two-hander. And what a pleasant surprise, it is actually a one-hander, which I think reaffirms the fact that this will be available post the Siege of Paris DLC. Now personally, I'm after a bit of a robust, authentic one-handed sword that kind of fits the time period appropriately, but I do think that this snake wrapped around this one-handed sword does look pretty cool. So if we also combine that with the shield called the Ouroboros Shield, and Ouroboros being that famous ancient symbol of a serpent eating its own tail, and that can kind of be interpreted as the cycle of life or rebirth, and we can quite clearly see that on the design of this particular shield with the addition of a sword going through the head. Now for me, even though I won't be using the shield, I'm not really much of a shield player, I can appreciate the symbology and meaning behind it, and I think it looks pretty sharp. And by the way folks, if you've got any value of the video so far or learned anything new at all, then a quick like on the video down below would be very kind and very helpful, so thanks very much. Now let's take a look at some armor stats, and this is actually an interesting set piece because we actually take on board an increase in damage against us by 25% for an increase in melee damage when equipping it. We also pick up an increase to attack by 10 when we equip it, so the name of the game here is a big priority over melee damage and attack, and you're going to have to pay for that privilege at a cost of an increase in damage taken by enemies. Same thing applies for the Coil Sword. We pick up a further damage penalty of 5% in a kind of trade-off for a plus 20 melee damage, and when it comes to the shield, we're getting buffed with a plus 10 attack bonus when you successfully parry. So you're kind of rolling the dice with this set. If you're a good player, then it's not going to be a problem for you, but the same thing here applies with the werewolf set. I'm honestly not sure if this is a completely new armor set or a well-crafted reskin of various different armor sets that we already have in game. You folks are always good at finding out what's what, so let us know down below if this is a genuine brand spanking new set or otherwise. Saying that though, apart from the one-handed sword, the helm and the cloak are probably the standout choices again here. I know there's a lot of gold floating around on it, which some of you won't like, but the snake wrapped around the shoulders as well as the pattern design on the cloak is quite unique and worth a transmog option when it does drop in Redder. Same thing here also applies to the helmet. It looks very menacing, and I think that the snake styled as hair being kind of slicked back is quite a nice detail. I must say, while I'm recording this, I do feel like a bit of a fashion guru, so we'll carry on with that, and now we're looking at tattoos, and I think these are actually pretty cool looking as well. The head tattoo in particular is definitely something I'm going to be looking out for at Redder, and I also like how Pedder's kind of snuck in that Norman haircut into this clip. Good work there, dude. Very sneaky, but it's very awesome, so thanks for that. And speaking of Pedder, he's got even more tricks up his sleeve, and that is the Paladin and the Reaper armor set. Well, he's got access to it, and I'll be getting something out for you soon, giving you the full breakdown on what it's all about. So if you'd like to be the first to know when that does pop out, it may be worth clicking that notification bell so you can get back here with no issues. And while we're on the topic of the Siege of Paris, I'm also doing a giveaway on the channel at the moment. It's completely free to enter. You just need to be a subscriber of the channel, and the actual link to enter is down below, so good luck. Anyway, big thanks to Pedder again. You are absolutely on fire at the moment, dude, and we all thank you for it. In any case, I think that's enough editing for me today. I hope you all enjoyed the video, and coffee is definitely on Pedder.